Reporting tonight, Melinda Akilami.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, President Bola Tinubu unveils APC's Presidential Campaign Council ahead of the 2027 general election. INEC chairman meets Canadian delegation, says the commission will use the recently concluded Osun governorship election as a template for the 2037 general election. As Nigeria joins the rest of the world to celebrate International Youth Day, Inspector General of Police challenges young Nigerians to channel their energy creatively towards nation building. And rescuers in Ukraine are searching for survivors in the wreckage of a shopping center hit by a deadly Russian double-tap drone strike. On sports news tonight, Super Eagles defender Shemi Ajayi on the score sheet as newly promoted Hull City stunned Manchester United 2-0 at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Ahead of the 2027 general elections, President Bola Tinubu has constituted the All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Council, appointing former Governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yari, as Director General and Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State as Secretary. The composition of the council is contained in a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Ononuga. President Tinubu will serve as Chairman of the Campaign Council, while the Vice President and APC National Chairman will serve as Vice Chairman. The statement explains that Senator Yari's appointment places him at the center of the party's campaign machinery, while Governor Uzodinma will coordinate the council secretariat as preparations intensify for the 2027 presidential contest. The party's national secretaries, Senator Ajibola Bashiru and Hadiza Bala Usman, were appointed Deputy Secretary and Assistant Secretary. Following the constitution of the APC Campaign Council, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom Wike, says he would have declined any offer to be appointed as the Director General of the APC Campaign Council. According to the minister, those who held the position in previous elections failed to deliver their states during the presidential polls, adding that he's not interested but would rather focus on winning Rivers State for the president. Speaking during the inspection of ongoing projects in the nation's capital, he pledged that the Rainbow Coalition will work to ensure the president's re-election.
In 2023, was a member of the APC Presidential Campaign Council. I was not there. But did I support President to win? Yes. People don't understand why I cannot. It's not that one is not qualified. Who is more qualified than me? But let me tell you the history. Why I would not want to be, even if the president calls me to say I want you to be, I will say no. He will say why? I say, let me tell you the history. In 2015, the Minister of Transport was the Governor of Rivers State. He was the DG of Muhammadu Buhari. Before he knew, I put the campaigns on his feet. He lost. He didn't get 25%. In 2023, Abdul Zamboa became DG of Atiku. He lost his state. In the same 2023, Lalong was the DG of the present president. He lost his state. I don't want to lose my state. I will be in my state. I have two states, FCT and Rivers State. What's important is, are you able to deliver those two states? So it's not about being DG. It's not about being member. No. The Rainbow Coalition would not need to be member of the APC Presidential Campaign Council. We are doing our own work.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has adopted the recently concluded Osun State governorship election as a benchmark for preparations for 2027, citing improved polling unit opening, BVAS performance, electronic result transmission, and crisis management. The INEC chairman, Professor Joash Amupiton, made the disclosure when he received the delegation from Canada on a courtesy visit to the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. Meanwhile, a U.S.-based election observation group, the International Republican Institute, is raising alarm that insecurity and political violence are the major threats to the 2027 general elections. The team made the observation during a media briefing in Abuja.
A delegation from the Canadian High Commission is at the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission as part of efforts to support Nigeria's electoral process ahead of the 2027 general election.
We would also like to say that,
according to the delegation, the support is in diplomatic and technical forms to ensure that the Commission delivers credible and virus-free elections.
we not only are interested and want to be helpful in terms of the processes that you oversee, Chairman, and the Commission, we would also like to say that we will continue to be active in terms of our programming in such areas as helping promote the participation of women in the electoral processes of Nigeria where we can.
The INEC chairman, who has just concluded the conduct of the Osun governorship election, believes the commission is moving in the right direction and is promising to improve on the Osun experience.
The commission has treated every obstacle election as a crucial ground for reform and operational perfection. Under this administration, we have systematically tested and defined our operational framework across major electoral exercises, from the Anambra State governorship election to the FCT area council to the Ekiti governorship election and the recently concluded Osun State governorship election.
The organization will continue to share these recommendations.
Meanwhile, a delegation from the International Republican Institute has concluded its pre-election assessment mission to Nigeria's 2027 general elections.
Nigeria's electoral process.
The team has several concerns, and security is topping the list.
ISIS should use existing threat assessments to identify areas where violence or insecurity could suppress participation or disrupt election administration, and develop location-specific mitigation plans. Planning should include quick reaction forces for responses in high-threat areas to prevent disruption of processes.
Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and security services should prosecute voter inducement and initiate investigations into credible allegations of vote buying.
During the visit, the team met with over 65 stakeholders, including electoral authorities, security services, political parties, and civil society organizations.
A chieftain of the Accord Party, Professor Chris Imomulen, says the party's recent electoral victory in Osun State will not stop the ongoing legal battle for the leadership of the party. The professor is maintaining that despite not recognizing his candidate in the just concluded election, the outcome of the exercise will not automatically determine who leads the party. Briefing journalists in Abuja, he's also clarifying his position on the adoption of the president as the party's presidential candidate for 2027.
So when you say whether Accord is working for APC, yes, for presidency, we are working for the two factions. Even the governor had also mentioned it, and even myself. We have looked at the president's policies, his what's it called, mandate and the rest. We are pleased with it, and we are working with him. But we have candidates who are running for governorship, who are running for other positions in Accord, and we are not in those positions working for any. So for us, in Accord, this is an internal issue. Accord leadership case continues because it has not been resolved. We just want the member of the public to know that our case in Accord continues. It has not been resolved until it is resolved. For it to be resolved, it takes two to resolve it. You understand? So it takes two to resolve it. So if the other faction is not ready to resolve it, we'll continue. If our faction is not ready to resolve it, we'll continue. The case is still ongoing, and Osun election will not automatically extinguish the leadership disputes in Accord. Accord remains a political party on its own, but however, we can align when we see interest that helps the party and for national good too. And it's not only for APC. In Abia, I was with the governor of Abia State, where we commended him and we said we are going to support him. As a matter of fact, we are not going to produce any gubernatorial candidate in Abia to support him. We did that in Abia State with OT. It was on the media. And OT is a member of Labour Party. So it depends on how the political party sees the direction and they choose how to move their political trajectory.
The Independent National Electoral Commission INEC in Bauchi State has commenced preparations for the by-elections scheduled for Saturday, September 19th, to fill vacancies in 2 state constituencies. At a stakeholder engagement, the resident electoral commissioner unveils the timetable for the elections and appeals for more cooperation in providing a safe and secure environment for a smooth exercise. Our correspondent, Hajara Liu, has this report.
On Saturday, September 19, 2026, voters in Sokwa and Disina state constituencies of Zaki and Shira local government areas of Bauchi State will go to the polls to elect representatives to fill the vacant seats. The Sokwa seat became vacant following the death of its former member, while the member representing Disina resigned to contest a chairmanship position. Ahead of the by-elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission is convening a meeting of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Electoral Security and representatives of political parties to identify potential challenges and develop strategies for ensuring successful and peaceful elections. The resident electoral commissioner presents the timetable of activities, beginning with the publication of the notice of election on August 20, 2026 in the affected constituencies. Campaigns are scheduled to commence on September 9 and end on September 17, 2026.
I urge all political parties and their candidates to take particular note of these timelines and ensure strict compliance, more especially with the timelines. While appreciating,
the Commissioner of Police pledges the command's cooperation with sister security agencies ahead of the elections.
We are going to be professional, impartial, and apolitical before, during, and after the elections. Indeed, we are committed to a free, fair, and credible exercise. No person shall be conferred with any undue advantage.
The meeting also features question and answer session, during which stakeholders raised issues concerning the conduct of the elections.
How many polling units agents are allowed?
So for polling agents, it is 1 per PU.
INEC assures stakeholders of its commitment to conducting free, fair, and credible by-elections. Hajara Aliyu, Channels Television News.
In part 2, after the break, Inspector General of Police Olatunji Disu challenges young Nigerians to channel their energy, creativity, and influence towards nation building. That's in a moment. Join us again.
SG.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu unveils APC's Presidential Campaign Council ahead of the 2027 general elections. INEC chairman meets Canadian delegation, says the commission will use the recently concluded Osun governorship poll as a template for 2027. As Nigeria joins the rest of the world to celebrate International Youth Day, Inspector General of Police challenges young Nigerians to challenge their energy, creativity, and influence towards nation building. And rescuers in Ukraine are searching for survivors in the wreckage of a shopping center hit by a deadly Russian double-tap drone strike. The Zone 2 Zonal Command of the Nigerian Police Force says adequate security will be provided for campaigns across Lagos and Ogun State. The Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of the two states, Mr. Olorundare Jimoh, told journalists at the zonal headquarters in Unikon, Lagos, that appropriate plans are on the way for violence-free campaigns and elections.
August 19, 2026. Kick-off dates for political activities and campaigns for the presidential and National Assembly elections has commenced across the country. Looking at the Western Zone, particularly Lagos and Ogun State, the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Olorundare Jimoh, highlights that arrangements are in top gear for a hitch-free campaign across the two states.
I want to assure you that if you are going to see anything different, you are going to see more improvement in the security capability of the policing in these two states to ensure that policing are further strengthened to bring security and safety to the doorsteps of all the people that live in Lagos and Ogun State. And equally, I want to appreciate the members of the public, the good people of Lagos State and the good people of Ogun State for the high-level civilizations and the cooperation that they have extended to us that has yielded positive results in ensuring that we secure people on the street, we secure people in their homes, we secure people in transit, and we secure people at their workplace.
Mr. Jimoh also asked aggrieved Nigerians with complaints about misconduct of any police officer, no matter the high ranking, to report such to the Police Complaints Response Unit for disciplinary actions.
I want to underscore the fact that as a police force, we are subject to public opinion. And if we are subject to public opinion, we will continue to grapple on daily basis with constantly informing the public about our activities and everything that we are doing so that our operation is not shrouded in secrecy. Anybody whosoever, either highly placed or lowly placed, wherever they belong to, if you have anything about the actions of the police, you should take it to court. Police action worldwide terminate where matter are taken to court. If you want to subject us to public trial within the ambit of the law, you can say it, but anything outside the ambit of the law, please go to court.
The zonal boss also received the Outstanding Excellence in Security Leadership Award 2026 from the Integrity Youth Alliance Group over his unwavering commitment in policing the zone.
Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, is urging young Nigerians to channel their energy, creativity and influence towards building communities rather than allowing themselves to be manipulated into violence and destruction. The IGP gave the charge in Abuja at the closing ceremony of the International Youth Day 2026, National Youth Leadership and Security Initiative of the Nigerian Police Force, with the theme, Different Contexts, Common Aspirations.
It is the climax of a three-day event organized by the Nigeria Police Force to mark the 2026 International Youth Day. The event begins with the police chief reiterating his call to young Nigerians to recognize their capacity to influence society positively, warning against allowing political actors or other interests to exploit them for violence.
We may come from different parts of the Nigeria, speak different languages and hold different opinions, but our aspirations are the same. We want peace, we want security, we want opportunities and dignity. We want to live in a Nigeria where our dreams are not destroyed by violence.
There were goodwill messages from development partners and other dignitaries, including the president of the Police Officers' Wives Association, with a charge to Nigerian youths.
Your future is greater than the cultism. Your future is greater than cybercrime. Your future is greater than hate, violence, and misinformation.
The Inspector General also used the occasion to present a book dedicated to Nigerian youths. He then decorates youth ambassadors, including a senior news anchor with Channels Television, Anne Nwaudo, and the founder of the Flutterwave, Mr. Olugbenga Agbola, urging them to serve as a bridge between the police force and Nigerian youths by promoting dialogue, understanding, and trust. The FCT command of the Nigeria Police Force also commemorated the International Youth's Day with a charge for young Nigerians to shun vices capable of impeding their personal growth.
About this, drugs promises relief for 5 minutes, but they take 5 years to 10 years of your whole life. Shisha, Tramadol, codeine, loud, Imiri, etc. They don't solve problems, they create new ones.
And we all know that a lot of verses now, some of the youths are now engaged in taking hard drugs. In the name they want to enjoy themselves. I am saying taking hard drugs is destroying of lives. So please, we want to urge you, please avoid taking hard drugs.
The event also featured award presentation to young people, a walkathon and a tree planting exercise to demonstrate the engagement of youths in community development.
Good working relationship and understanding.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oluyede, is calling for stronger collaboration between the military and retired personnel in the Northeast, emphasizing that veterans' experience and community networks will significantly enhance intelligence gathering and national security. He made a call during the Chief of Defense Staff engagement meeting with military veterans in the Northeast in Yola, the Adamawa state capital.
The Defense Headquarters is organizing this meeting between retired members of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, drawn from across the northeastern states, and the Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oluyede. The meeting deliberates on security challenges and the role of the veterans in national security and the welfare of veterans. The meeting goes into a closed-door session. After the session, the Chief of Defense Staff describes veterans as a critical component of the security architecture of the country.
We feel it's important for us to engage with them. One, because of their importance within the society. These are people that are well trained. So we thought we could leverage this to galvanize them for better intelligence acquisition, going by the challenges we're having in the area of security.
Amid concerns raised by some veterans, the defense chief promises to improve the welfare of retired soldiers.
There's nothing that we're doing for soldiers in terms of increment in salaries, better welfare, that will not translate to better welfare for the veterans. Constitutionally, if there's an increment in salaries for soldiers, for serving soldiers, there's a consequential effect on pensions of the veterans. So I can tell you that those ones who are misguided and misled by some elements that didn't understand why or what we're doing to enhance the welfare of both serving and retired soldiers.
Also speaking, the national president of the Retired Army, Navy and Air Force Officers Association of Nigeria, retired Major General Hussein Salihu, says the association operates about 30 chapters in the country and in Europe, reiterating that the welfare program will be all-encompassing.
All the efforts being done, all things being put in place, you can be sure that 100% of the welfare needs of the military are being taken care of. It's just a matter of time to put the T's, to put the dots. You've all heard from what he has said. They have been able to explain to the veterans what they are doing, what the federal government is doing, and what the Mr. President has done so far. The thing did not even start today. It started a long time, a year or two. So you can rest assured that very soon all of them are going to smile. I'm very happy about it.
The high point of the event is the free medical attention given to some of the veterans and serving soldiers.
Staying with security matters, bandits have reportedly invaded Dekara community in Bogu local government area of Niger State, abducting several residents shortly after Jumat prayers. The attack, which occurred between 2 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. on Friday, saw the armed men storm the community and allegedly round up residents who had gathered at the mosque for the congregational prayer. The chairman of Bogu local government area, Honorable Nasiru Abdullahi, confirmed the incident shortly after the attack. According to him, the affected communities include Dekara, Gidanzana, Sabungida, and Masata. He said the local government was working to ensure that security operatives respond swiftly to the situation and provide the necessary assistance to the affected communities. He said Dekara is a community in Bogu local government area, in an area around the Kanji Lake National Park, and the local government shares a boundary with Kwara State. Air platforms of Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai have conducted a series of successful intelligence-led precision strikes against terrorist congregations across Borno State. A statement signed by the acting military information officer, Captain Mohammed Goni, explains that the coordinated air operations followed credible intelligence and confirmatory missions that identified the movement of suspected terrorists. The strike successfully degraded the identified targets and disrupted attempts by terrorist elements to assemble, regroup, and operate freely within the theater. It adds that the operations underscore the growing effectiveness of Operation Hadinkai's integrated capabilities in detecting and neutralizing threats before they develop into attacks against troops and vulnerable communities. Members of the public have been urged to remain vigilant and continue providing timely information to security operatives as community cooperation remains crucial to early threat detection and the protection of lives and property. Amnesty International Nigeria has called on the Imo State government and relevant authorities to investigate the hundreds of unidentified bodies reportedly being moved from mortuaries in the state to unknown locations. The organization said videos it obtained showed bodies being moved at night from facilities including Ngor, Pala, and Imbieri General Hospitals. Amnesty International's director in Nigeria, Mr. Isa Sanusi, urged authorities to identify the bodies, establish cause of death, preserve medical and mortuary records, and conduct forensic examinations where necessary. He also urged authorities to investigate and prosecute anyone found responsible for unlawful death or human rights violations. Operatives of the Department of State Services, DSS, in collaboration with other security operatives and local vigilante, have rescued a 29-year-old man abducted by suspected kidnappers in Olu local government area of Imo State. The victim was kidnapped at about 7 p.m. on Tuesday, August the 18th, around Afo Ugidi Market while returning from an international market in Umunna. In a statement issued by the Department of State Services in Imo State, the gunmen intercepted the victim's vehicle before forcing him to an undisclosed location. During the rescue operation, 2 suspected members of the kidnapping syndicate were neutralized, while 2 high-caliber weapons and ammunition were recovered. The victim was subsequently taken into protective custody and has now been reunited with his family. Security agencies have intensified intelligence gathering, surveillance, and joint operations across Imo State, with ongoing efforts to track down other members of the gang. The agencies have also urged residents to remain vigilant and promptly provide credible information to assist efforts to prevent kidnapping and other forms of crime. Still ahead on the news at 10. CPPE warns against turning back on Nigeria's economic reform, says it could unsettle the naira and shake investor confidence. That's in a moment. Join us again. Welcome back. A new chapter in international education is opening in Lagos as Wellington College International officially unveils its Welcome Center. It marks the first physical presence of the prestigious institution in Africa, offering families and partners a direct gateway into the college's vision for world-class, future-ready education.
Anticipation meets reality as Wellington College International Lagos opens its Welcome Center at 8A Adeleke Adedoyin Street, Victoria Island. The Welcome Center is the first point of contact for visitors and will serve as a hub for admissions, inquiries, and community engagement ahead of the college's campus opening in Alaro City in September 2027.
3, 2, 1, snip.
For the management of the college, the opening marks more than the launch of a physical space. It represents the beginning of a relationship with families and the wider community that it hopes to nurture for years to come.
We bring the heritage and educational experience of Wellington, traditions developed over generations, and ambitious ideas about what education can be. But we also come ready to listen and to learn. We are ready to form partnerships and to contribute, and we are ready, over time, to belong.
Appropriate list. Thank you.
Representatives from the Lagos State Government and the British High Commission highlight how the initiative will further deepen the long-standing relationship between Nigeria and the United Kingdom.
The opening of this reception centre sends a clear message that the relationship between the UK and Nigeria is not only strong, but it is growing. It demonstrates shared commitments to excellent opportunity and the preparation of the next generation of leaders for who will share both of our countries.
As you prepare to welcome your founding families and commence full operations, we look forward to meaningful collaboration and to the positive contribution this institution will make to the educational landscape of our great state, Lagos.
Founded in 1853, Wellington College brings nearly 2 centuries of educational heritage to Nigeria, combining British academic pathways with a strong emphasis on character, well-being, and leadership.
An important aspect of development for our students will be that global mindset and that international outlook. And so it's a wonderful opportunity to broaden your horizons and make global connections.
We will pick elements of that education, particularly regarding the values and so on, but also the education that we expect to provide will be very much forward-thinking as well. So it's like anything, it's going to be a balance of the old and tradition, but also of the new.
As preparations continue for the Alaro City campus, Wellington College International Lagos says its focus remains on creating an environment where every student can realize their personal, academic, and future potential.
The call for greater recognition and support for teachers as crucial drivers of Africa's future development is the message at the 2026 Africa Teachers Festival. The convener, Bukola Lawal, made the call at the African Teachers Excellence Award and Gala Night in Abuja, where outstanding educators from Nigeria and other African countries were honored for their contributions to the education sector. She says celebrating teachers is not merely about recognizing their achievements, but about inspiring a new generation of educators.
The contributions of teachers and education stakeholders to the development of Africa's human capital is under the spotlight as the Africa Teachers Festival, in partnership with the Africa Missions Global, hosts the Africa Teachers Excellence Awards and Gala Night in Abuja. The event brings together educators and education advocates from Nigeria and across Africa, providing a platform to celebrate teachers who have distinguished themselves through commitment and excellence in the education sector. The organizers say the initiative is designed to recognize the often overlooked contributions of teachers while inspiring them to continue shaping the future of the continent.
The quality of a nation is determined by the quality of its teachers. And if you agree with me, for a long time, teachers have been undervalued. They have been under-respected. In fact, they have been underpaid. And we want to correct that. So we want to place the values that teachers needed in our society, especially in Africa. And we want to improve education in Africa.
Mommy Dio is a teacher on all fronts, and she's always been very passionate about education, and that has taken her across Africa, because her dream is to see that every child is educated and is adding value to humanity. The AMG right now is into digital education program across the whole of Africa, not just Nigeria. And not just Nigerians, they are training children, they are training teachers, secondary school, primary school, all across.
The occasion also featured goodwill messages from guests who commended the organizers for creating a platform that celebrates educators and promotes collaboration across African countries. The highlight of the evening is the presentation of awards to teachers and education professionals who have distinguished themselves through outstanding service, innovation, and commitment to improving learning outcomes.
I feel extremely happy. So teachers, he made me what I am, for the time around and recognizing my efforts and my contributions.
The award ceremony is expected to inspire more educators to strive for excellence while strengthening the value placed on the teaching profession across the continent. From Abuja, Victoria.
The Foundation for Citizen Empowerment and Sensitization on Civic Responsibility Initiative, in partnership with the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, has awarded 200 scholarships to students of Adeyemi Federal University of Education, Ondo State. In the intervention carried out under the Foundation's Project New Nigeria Voter Education and Sensitization Program, 16 digital devices were also donated to beneficiaries as part of efforts to empower youths and deepen voter education ahead of the 2027 general elections.
Here is an empowerment program put together by the Project New Nigeria, a partnership with NDDC. This is the popular Babatunde Paye Hall, filled with students of Adeyemi Federal University of Education, Ondo, keenly waiting to hear from the convener, Project New Nigeria, Mrs. Samuel Kaylee Nzidi. In no time, the convener, his team, and a representative of the NDDC joined the students for the empowerment program. According to the organizers, the foundation will pay the tuition fees of 200 beneficiaries in 200 to 400 levels for one academic session. A student from the Department of Social Studies, Miriam Olaniyon, receives a full scholarship from 100 level to final year, alongside an iPad. Other beneficiaries also receive iPads. The convener explains that beyond voter education, the initiative is designed to support government efforts by empowering young people with civic knowledge, relevant digital devices, and practical support meaningfully to nation building.
Part of what we're doing is empowering the students of the Niger Delta. So this is practical empowerment. That is why we have given scholarships. And we want them to learn digital tools that they can use to trade, to make income for themselves and to learn. And that is why we give out laptops and tablets as well.
The representative of the NDDC Managing Director for the Commission remains committed to strengthening democracy through sustained voter registration and sensitization programs across the Niger Delta.
This program is conceived from statistics that some populations, they register and they will not collect their PVC. Some doesn't have the awareness that they should register. And we are doing it to strengthen democracy across the Niger Delta for our people and also promote democracy.
The star beneficiary, Miriam Olaniyon, joins other beneficiaries in expressing gratitude to the convener for the gesture, promising to make judicious use of the opportunity.
I'm so happy to get the scholarship.
It means a lot to me. Like, for real, it means a lot to me. I'm so excited. My prayer to them is that their work will be moving higher to higher in Jesus' name.
Applauding initiatives of this nature as one capable of fostering a better future for young Nigerians, stakeholders also express hope that the gesture will continue for many years.
New safety measures are being introduced by Dangote Cement Transport to enhance technology and safety, reduce road accidents, as well as improve driver conduct across its operations. The management team of the company's transportation section explains that it has become imperative in order to improve safety, reduce accidents and deaths caused by human error.
The introduction of new technology by Dangote Cement Transport Ibeshe is targeted at promoting and improving safety and efficiency of its fleet. The event attracts the presence of the management team of the transport section and other top management of Dangote Cement. The head of transport operations, David Idege, outlines special initiatives introduced to boost both tech and non-tech safety.
If a driver is using hard substances or is taking alcohol, we will use these things to test the driver. And when we notice that the driver is dropped automatically and consequent management is applied, where we need to apply consequent management, and if we require to change the driver, we change the driver immediately to ensure that this does not continue. So this we do continuously. And we only not do that, we also engage other agencies to give us support.
With about 4,000 trucks, the company says technology, which include speed limiters gauge at 65 km per hour, onboard cameras, speed limiters, onboard safety dashboard technology, are now in place to monitor drivers in real time.
If a driver, let me just give you for one, prosy driving. If there is an evidence of prosy driving, it's automatically termination. Because one, the management is not aware that the trip created for you, and after leaving the plant, that you gave out your truck to whoever that we don't know. And the information is not being communicated to us that there is an issue. And if there is an issue, we send a reliever for you to relieve the truck. The only thing that you park the truck at a safer place, we send a reliever. You shouldn't hand over our truck to a driver that we don't know.
The management is optimistic that the company's stern behavioral policy management is a vowed stance on drug and alcohol violation as it admonishes discipline, safety and professionalism among its drivers will go a long way in bringing about the desired changes.
Once we do our RC and we discover that you are freewheeling, you're over speeding, any of this at-risk behavior, we have some consequent management we apply to these drivers to correct some of these behavioral issues. So basically, environmental issues, positive driving, behavioral issues, and these are some of the controls we have in place to address all of these issues.
We always encourage driver, you drive safely, you come back safely. We all have a family members. Your family are expected back to you home. The organization is expecting you back to you home. So we encourage you to please drive safely and return back to the organization and also return back to your family safely.
With these measures in place at Ibeshe plant, it is expected that this will be replicated in other plants as part of the company's commitment to road safety and responsible haulage.
Stanbic IBTC Holdings, a member of Standard Bank Group, has held its 2026 edition of Together for a Limb with a commemorative awareness walk through Victoria Island, Lagos. Now in its 12th year, the program supports Nigerian children who have experienced limb loss through accidents or medical conditions. This year, the initiative has shortlisted 50 children, each receiving a custom-designed prosthetic limb alongside a scholarship trust fund.
The early morning drizzle was no match for the determination of these participants who braved the weather to be part of Stanbic IBTC Holdings' 12th annual Together for a Limb initiative. from a 5-kilometer walk to fitness exercises and games. The event brought together people united by one purpose, giving children living with limb loss a chance to thrive. Through Together for a Limb, Stanbic IBTC provides prosthetic limbs and education support to children and teenagers, helping them overcome physical limitations and pursue their dreams.
We want to help these children understand the unlimited possibilities that lie ahead of them, and which the loss of limb should not inhibit.
Representing the wife of the Lagos State Governor, Mrs. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, Olaibitoye commends Stanbic IBTC for its commitment to supporting children living with physical disabilities.
Let us remember that this is more than a walk. It is a walk for hope, inclusion, dignity, and opportunity.
Goodwill messages follow from partners who shared in the vision of creating a more inclusive future for children living with limb loss.
What you have done is not just giving a limb. What you have done is to give children confidence. We go shine. Hand in hand we go blind.
But beyond the celebration came a life-changing moment. A total of 50 beneficiaries received a 1.5 million naira education support fund as part of this year's Together for a Limb program. But how are the beneficiaries selected?
Our network of offices work with local stakeholders, local communities to identify children that qualify for the program. Once they are nominated, then they are shortlisted and sent to Stanbic IBTC for final review and approval.
This year's theme, Unlimited, captures a powerful message. Losing a limb should never mean losing a child's dreams, confidence, or potential.
Whatever occasion that loss of limb, how can we help them overcome both that circumstance and that physical situation and realize their God-given potential? For me, that is what really the theme of this year means.
As the event comes to a close, management of Stanbic IBTC Bank expressed appreciation to the children, parents, partners, and members of the public whose support continues to drive the initiative.
Thank you for working with us. Thank you for believing in this cause, and we look forward to continue with you in this journey together.
Now in its 12th year, Together for a Limb is proving that a physical challenge does not have to define a child's future.
The Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise, CPPE, has warned that reversing Nigeria's current economic reforms could weaken investor confidence, hurt fiscal stability, and destabilize the foreign exchange market. The group says a policy reversal may bring back the distortions the reforms were designed to address and trigger further economic disruptions. Rather than abandon the reforms, the CPPE is calling for regular adjustments based on economic evidence and their impact on businesses and households. It says the next phase of economic management should focus on boosting productivity, creating jobs, raising incomes, and improving living standards. Nigeria's Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) is tightening its rules for cryptocurrency firms with a 30 million naira registration fee and minimum capital requirements of up to 2 billion naira, depending on the type of operator. The new requirements are part of efforts to strengthen regulation of Nigeria's growing digital asset market and ensure operators have sufficient financial capability. The SEC says the move will also help protect investors, improve market transparency, and strengthen confidence in the crypto market. Crypto businesses operating in the country will now face higher entry requirements as regulators step up oversight of the sector. And in the world of sports, Port Harcourt has been confirmed as the host city for the 2026 Nigeria Premier Basketball League playoffs for a fourth straight year. The Nigeria Basketball Federation said the playoffs will now run from August 29th to September 6th at the Niger Street Basketball in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The 8-team round-robin tournament features 4 qualifiers from the Atlantic Conference. That's Rivers Hoopers, Mactown Flyers, Hoopston Reed, as well as Lagos Raptors, alongside Savannah Conference representatives, Aso Skyhawks, 313 Warriors, Boko City Chiefs, and Kano Pillars. The winners will represent Nigeria in next season's Basketball Africa League. Hull City stunned Manchester United on a dream return to the Premier League after 9 years away, with a first-ever top-flight win against their shell-shocked visitors. The Super Eagles defender, Semi Ajayi, gave Hull the lead when he lashed in. Oleg McBurney's initial efforts was tipped on to the post by United keeper. Fellow defender and club record signing Nobel Mendy scored on his debut when he headed in from Regan Seltler's free kick to seal a well-deserved 2-0 victory over the Red Devils. In other English Premier League matches, Kieran Dewsbury Hall scored in the 42nd minute and Tiano Barry added a second goal in the 53rd as Everton beat Crystal Palace 2-0. Elsewhere, new signing Emerson scored in the 24th minute and substitute Jack Clark scored a dramatic late winner in the 90th minute to give Ipswich Town a 2-1 victory over Sunderland at Portman Road. Leeds United left the City ground with all 3 points after Anton Starch broke the deadlock in the 88th minute, scoring a 1-0 win over Nottingham Forest. Big spending Tottenham Hotspur were ripped apart by an impressive Brentford side at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Aston Villa manager Unai Emery has expressed his feelings about the 2026-2027 campaign for his side as they strive for European football for the 5th successive year under his reign. First on the schedule for the season is a trip to the INEC Stadium where Brighton on Sunday, but Emery expects another tough test for the Europa League champions. Now, despite the astonishing turnover of players at the Villa Park, the 54-year-old Spaniard insisted the club has had a good transfer window. Barcelona head coach Hansi Flick has confirmed that new signing Rodri would not be involved in the Spanish Champions La Liga opener on Sunday. Flick said Rodri will take part in their second match against Athletic Bilbao on Thursday. The 61-year-old German added that the Portugal defender João Cancel is available for the trip to the Martinez Stadium. And on the international scene, rescuers in Ukraine are working through the night to search for survivors in a wreckage of a shopping center hit by a deadly Russian double-tap drone strike. 16 people were killed and 130 people injured when 2 drones hit the busy center in Kiev in quick succession in what is known as a double-tap strike. Now, 4 people are still missing and the search and rescue operation could last for another 2 days. President Volodymyr Zelensky has condemned the despicable attack, in his words, in which the second drone targeted emergency responders. The sides exchanged more fire overnight, with Ukrainian attacks said to have killed at least 4 people in Russia, including 2 children, and 3 people reportedly killed in Kiev as a result of Russian strike. The death toll from Friday's attack reached 16 after another body was retrieved from the rubble overnight. US President Donald Trump has vowed to defeat what he calls the threat of communism at the ballot box, urging Americans to reject radical Democrats in the upcoming midterm elections. President Trump made the remarks during a political event ahead of the November 3rd midterm elections, which will determine control of the U.S. House and Senate. The vote will also serve as a major test for the president's influence midway through his second term.
want to make it easier. Was that a good thing? Was that good or bad? I think she said Trump Nation. I like that. I like that. I like that. Leave her alone. Don't do it. She said Trump Nation. That's okay. Trump Nation's okay. I wasn't sure. You never know what they're saying nowadays, do you, Front Row Joes? But communism is the single greatest threat to our country in history, including World War I, World War II, Pearl Harbor, 9/11. And that's why we're going to crush the radical Democrats at the ballot box this November. And we're going to defeat communism in America once and for all. We're going to defeat it. It's never worked. It's dirty. It's filthy. It's unhappy. Did you ever see a happy communist? You ever see a communist laugh? I never saw it. I've known communists. They don't laugh. They're very unhappy people. We want to be happy.
And the main news again. President Bola Tinubu has unveiled APC's Presidential Campaign Council ahead of the 2027 general elections. The INEC chairman, Professor Joash Amiputo, has met with Canadian delegation where he promised that the commission will use the recently concluded Osun governorship election as a template for 2027. And rescuers in Ukraine have continued their search for survivors in the wreckage of a shopping center hit by a deadly Russian double-tap drone strike. That's the news at 10 tonight. I'm Melinda Akinlami on behalf of the team. Good night.